Sonic the Hedgehog, the fanfic, the podcast. It's our midlife crisis.
Hello, welcome back to Sonic the Hedgehog, the fanfic, the podcast. The latest and greatest red hot hit off of the printing press of the Press Garden Zone, here to light up the life of any and all Sonic reader unfortunate enough to download or listen to this show. I'm LT, welcoming all of you, and joining me today is my fellow guardian of the Master Emerald. It's Eddie O'Keefe. Eddie, how are you doing today, pal?
I'm doing very good. Today's a nice busy day for me. Just come back from a Budders and Dragons Roll the Dumb Dice community day. And then I'm back off again after recording to do an improv show. So, hooray!
Busy bee.
Busy day.
Well, we don't mind a bit of busyness, but you know, between the busy hours, sometimes you've got to unwind, sometimes you've got to chill out a little bit. And I've got a lovely little story for you, because last time around you gave me chapter 1 of the tale, and I'm picking up with chapter 2. So we're going to do things the opposite way around this episode. Eddie's going to be doing the majority of the talking. He's going to be doing the reading, and as usual, we will stop and dissect what the fuck is wrong with me, as is necessary.
Also, worth reminding the audience, I don't know what LT's written at all. I don't know where he's taken my material and ran with it. I literally have no idea, and it is weirdly nervous being on this, even though it's only episode 2, being on this side and being like, I don't know what he's done.
Now you know how it feels. So, shall we... We said we'd get into like where you thought you might take the story if you considered it, if you continued it. Shall we give a quick little recap to the listeners first?
A recap's a good idea. So for my story, for my chapter 1, we were following Sonic running down. We're not really sure exactly where it was he was running. He was just running. We weren't sure why he was running. He took a big shit. Fell asleep, woke up, and there was some narration backstory just saying that Sonic hadn't seen his friends in a very long time. They kind of disbanded, but not really, just because there was nothing to be scared of anymore, as we hadn't seen Robotnik since COVID-19. And then that's actually what happened. And then Sonic received a mysterious phone call from Tails.
It's true. So if then you'd continued with chapter 2, how did you see the story continue? Let's see if we've got anything close to what I'm about to show you.
I just my original cliffhanger was just going to be Sonic and Tails have a little chat, and then Tails says, we need to find everybody and meet up, and then I was going to pick a random character who was going to, in my head, be the last one we find. It has something to tell us. And then that was going to be my little cliffhanger-y thing, but I don't know. I decided to leave it on Sonic Answers the Phone because I thought it was much more open for you to just be like, okay, and also more in spirit of what we're doing with this, as like, here is the control from me, gone now, you go with a completely different direction, we'll see what happens.
Well, will it be great minds think alike, or will it be too many cooks take a big piss in the broth? We are about to find out. Would you like me to send you the Google Doc with this thing, this homunculus of a story I've written?
Yes, please.
Alright, I'll drop that there in.
Oh god, I feel nervous.
For you. I know, it's weird, isn't it?
Okie dokie.
And this is chapter 2. We've got a little title there. If you want to read that out before you start.
I sure will. So this is Sonic the Hedgehog, the fanfic, the podcast, chapter 2. Fuck you! Chapter 2. Tails. Like 2 tails, which is what he has. Tails, that is. He has 2 tails. Hence his name, Tails.
There was a little bit of confusion there. I thought it best to clear that up.
Of course. Yes. Okay, good. I'm glad this is. Yes, good. This is a very good start. That's the second way I wanted.
All right, take it away whenever you're ready, pal.
Tails flicked on the light in his workshop and walked down the stairs. The halogen bulb made a hum which hung in the air like yesterday's stale farts. The young fox walked over to his epic... Fucking hell! The young fox walked over to his epic gamer chair, positioned in front of his desk, yawned as he sat, and placed down his coffee mug. A Christmas present from Amy, which read, World's Best Twin-Tailed Mutant Freak Show. Not his favourite mug, but the rest are in the dishwasher. Amy's a cunt.
She's only going to get worse.
Oh, she sure will. Tails booted up his computer and typed in his password. Why? Fucking hell. Tails booted up his computer and typed in his password, buttfart83 #boobs.
You've got to have a special character and a number in there, or it's not a secure password. Tails would know this better than anyone.
It's so unlike Tails to have boobs in his part. Buttfart I can kind of get away. Yeah, fair. He's a bit younger than Sonic. Boobs just seems so like anti-Tails.
I feel like maybe Knuckles suggested the password.
Yeah, yeah. A desktop background of Tails' girlfriend Zoe. Ooh, didn't know we had a girlfriend called Zoe.
Yeah, from Sonic Boom.
Oh, there we go. A desktop background of Tails' girlfriend Zoe filled the screen. A notepad document littered the desktop. Variously titled things like password.txt and Robotnik IP address.txt. Tails made a mental note to get Zoe something for her birthday, which is coming up in 2 weeks. Fucking hell, that's something I have to keep in the back of my mind. Good. Last year, her birthday party had been a catastrophe, but Knuckles somehow got into a fight with the birthday cake and punched it into oblivion, hitting everyone on the face with frosting, strawberries, and a kidney fist. To make matters worse, Tails has spent months working on Zoe's present. A music player with mood lighting and hologram display perfectly suited to whatever tune was playing. This was all fine and well, but Shadow called it real lame nerd shit for loser lamos. And then a bunch of the girls had laughed and got out to hang with Shadow instead. Tails knew it wasn't nerd shit, it was very thoughtful, actually! He snapped out of his daydream and booted up his diagnostic program, which would in turn tell him which of his many gadgets would require attention today. Tails wondered if perhaps he should apply for a scholarship to Metropolis University. Then remembered he was 8, too young for university. Just imagine, oh yeah, I'm 8! Just the idea of remembering your age like that is very silly. It was a blessing and a curse to be so brilliant. A blessing because whenever his friends needed a dishwasher that also read your emails, he was there. Why?
You never know, man. You never know. Sometimes you want to do the pots and check your mails, you know?
I just do remember having a conversation with someone who was talking about their parents buying a smart fridge.
A smart fridge? What the fuck are you talking about? What is that about?
Oh, you can change the temperature. I was like, why? It's cold. Leave it be cold.
I've got a smart fridge in that case. It's got a little dial that goes from 1 to 6.
Yeah, I really don't understand it.
It didn't cost £7,000 either.
Bollocks. A blessing because whenever his friends needed a dishwasher that also read your emails, he was their first thought. And goodness only knows it's good for your mental well-being to always be useful to people, exclusively when they want something. Oh no! Tails! Oh, this is horrible. But it was a curse because he couldn't help but think maybe he had intellectually outgrown his friends, even the ones who were older than him. This is getting dark quickly.
Tails is going to go on a journey, man. I'm telling you now.
God damn. Sure, you didn't mind Sonic being a bit less book smart than him. That was always the way. Tails was book smart, Sonic was street smart. They complemented one another. That's complimented with an E, mind you, not an I, because Sonic rarely complimented Tails due to the frailty of toxic masculinity. Fucking hell. But Knuckles is another story. Tails wondered if the Master Emerald gave off radiation that made your skull as dense as rocks, because some days Knuckles said some right old shit. Just this last week, he told their gang he didn't trust telephones because they steal your voice. What? Fuck, hey! Growing up alone on an island had obviously sent Knuckles a bit funny. Okay, now I'm so happy that Knuckles is established as a stupid fucking cunt.
I mean, you know, I guess from his perspective, like, what is a phone other than a magical box,
true.
You know?
Yeah, he's lived remote on an island for so long, and then suddenly it's like, you build what?
He doesn't even have a telly or anything. There's no way to live.
Oh, there's so many good Knuckles ideas, like, just popping up in my head now. Knuckles finally discovers only fools and horses.
Jesus.
Amy, though, fuck alive, where to begin? She'd always been a bit off kilter, but Tails was certain she'd been co-opted by some far right movement or another. He regretted showing her that funny 4chan green text image about the guy who ate all the sugar-free chili dogs and spent the next 8 hours having the worst and most painful constipation of his life. Soon enough, Amy had fully ingratiated herself among the incels on that particular website. It wasn't helped by her pastor at church, who was definitely not going to see the pearly gates when they croaked due to their views on minorities. Fucking... I knew Amy was canonically a Christian for some fucking reason. But Jesus Christ.
It's going to go from bad to worse. She's going to be one of those Christians.
Yes, I think so. Oh, God. Before Tails knew it, Amy was blaming all of her problems on every protected group you could care to think of, including several races Tails had sure he'd never heard of before. Tails got the distinct impression he wasn't the only one of the group who was feeling isolated. Sonic had recently become depressed right around the time he borrowed Tails' copy of Earthbound. What? And struggled to get to the third settlement. That's the reason he's depressed! This is stupid! That's the reason Sonic's depressed. Couldn't finish Earthbound.
I mean, he's heard all these good things about it, and he can't get to the third settlement. It's difficult, you know?
Oh my god. It was even picked up by the gaming news sites, who unthinkingly and repeatedly reported that Sonic had a rough transition to 3. Fuck's sake! Tails felt a twinge of shame, knowing he should have been making more of an effort to help his friend. But his idea for a totally badass little go-kart wasn't going to make itself, so sod it. Okay, I wanted and thought Sonic and Tails were going to be like, let's band together and reboot the... Not just Sonic couldn't finish a fucking video game. There were fucking incel fucking characters in this whole fucking fanfic.
I mean, listen,
in chapter 2!
We don't truly understand depression in all its forms to this day. Anything can set it off. Anything can be a trigger, Eddie, including the difficulty of Shigesato Itoi's legendary Earthbound.
Fucking ridiculous. This is just not... This is not what I expected, in the best way. I love that it's like so off what I was thinking was going to happen. But fucking hell. Of course, sometimes Tails did make the effort and received nothing to show for it. The last 2 days, in fact, he attempted to call Sonic but got no response. It was frustrating. Sonic was terrible at returning phone calls. Rota had once spent a week in prison because his one phone call had been to Sonic, who had picked up. Immediately told Rota he'd call back later, and put the phone down to play Call of Duty. Christ's sake! All of which seemed a little unfair, as Rota was only arrested for not returning an overdue library book, which Sonic had asked him to borrow in the first place. What is Sonic?
Sonic's a dick, man. I don't know what to tell you.
Sinking into his chair and taking a deep breath, Tails hoped Sonic would pick up the phone today, because what he had to say couldn't wait much longer. The fact of the matter was, Sonic would be necessary for action to be taken. Right now, Tails was as stuck as Espio... Fucking Christ. Tails was as stuck as Espio was that time he tried to stick his head through the window of the local adult entertainment club, only to find his big stupid chameleon Bonce wouldn't go back out again. Worse still, he found himself peering into the men's bathroom, where he was pounded by the stench of stale wee, and, more literally, the fists of the blokes who didn't take kindly to being ogled by a purple chameleon. In an attempt to get the horn, Espio had punched in his 57 times, which medical staff said was a new record. Good, Espio's a massive fucking pervert then.
I mean, the question it should be raised, why did he not just turn invisible?
Well, he's an idiot, isn't he?
Well, that's very true. I mean, you know, he hangs out with Vector and Charmy. It's probably going to lower his intelligence by osmosis.
So, like, just from the osmosis-y thing, like, Chaotix just seem to be these creepy pervs who send dick pics and fucking peeping Tom on everyone.
I dread to think what is going to happen with poor Charmy.
Well, we'll see you next chapter. Tails picked up a pen and his jotter and made a note. He stared at what he'd written, confirming in his mind what he'd hastily scrawled. He nodded silently. There was no denying it. He had definitely written piss and double underlined it. God, there had to be more than life than this, didn't there? For crying out loud, he was 8! If you didn't have life figured out at 8 years old, when would you? Oh, Jesus Christ. If he hit 9 and didn't have an outline for where he was going in life, he could basically be no better than dead. He'd be as worthless to society as a podcaster or a middle manager. Hey, now. Tails' phone buzzed. The screen lit up, shortly followed by Tails' expression. Finally, Sonic was returning his call. The boy genius pressed the end call button and started a FaceTime conversation, because everyone knows it's just nicer to maintain constant eye contact while having a phone conversation. In fact, it never leads to awkward silences at all. Is Tails autistic in this fanfic? I'm asking that genuinely, like not even like me trying to be like funny. Like
I mean, it didn't occur to me, but who's to say? I thought we'd show the opposite side of
Yes.
where we set off last time, and what was going through Tails' mind? Why in God's name you would ever prefer a FaceTime call over just having a normal
honestly.
phone conversation?
This is a
If
lovely
you have something
idea.
to show someone on your call, sure.
Yes. Oh, but
But-
you can also answer the call and then be like, "Hey, can I FaceTime you?"
Hmm.
And press the button that says "Start video." You didn't have to hang up in the first place, so he's a fucking idiot. I like this though. I like this. I like how we've got some nice background and not just because I assumed it would just lead into "Hi Sonic, it's Tails." I'm glad we haven't done that. It's nice.
Well, you've got to set the mood, set the tone.
Yes, it's very well done.
Thank you.
Sonic's bleary face came into view on the screen. "Hey pal, what's up?" Tails tried to at least get context for why his friend hadn't answered his previous calls. "Sonic, where have you been? I rang you yesterday and the day before." "I shat so hard I passed out for 48 hours. Tails paused and settled with the depressive her details. In the end, he offered, "Right. Fair." "So, what's up?" "It's no good, Sonic." "What, Knuckles' reading level?" Sonic smirked. Tails rolled his eyes after to say, "Oh, you," but he knew Sonic didn't mean it. After all, Sonic knew Knuckles was incredibly sensitive about being illiterate. Oh no! And making light of that was completely off limits. That's really... Oh, poor Knuckles is going to get... Knuckles is the bullied character, I think, we have immediately established from the writers. He's getting bullied to fuck.
You can take it, he's a big lad.
He sure can. Tails continued. "I've been monitoring Dr. Robotnik's abandoned base with my equipment, and the results are off the chart." "Which results are those exactly?" Sonic tilted his head. "It would take too long to explain each of them to you," Tails replied. It's hard to do Tails' voice.
It's weird, isn't it? It's like kind of a little bit hoarse and a little bit high pitched.
Yeah.
And
I'm going to give him a different voice because I can't enunciate with a different voice.
Fair.
"It would take too long!" I'm not doing the
God, can you imagine?
Tails? Oh, should I do Sonic? Like the really shit Sonic anime one.
Jesus, the worst thing ever.
Well, he also doesn't enunciate. "It would take too long to explain anything to." That fucking Andy Samberg and Bludgeons. Tails. Deek. "It would take too long to explain each of them to you," Tails replied. "You're just saying that because you think I'm too thick to understand, aren't you?" "No, I'm saying it because the writer wants to get to the point and he's already meandering like crazy." "Okay, so give it to me in simple terms, buddy." "Perfect! And indeed the person writing this can definitely do that." Tails explained to Sonic that his computer had recorded energy levels especially similar to those given off by the Chaos Emeralds, emanating from Robotnik's disused egg fortress. The orbiting space satellite that wasn't as cool as a Death Egg, but served the same basic thematic purpose, so people didn't just think Robotnik was rehashing the same ideas constantly. At least the very humbly named Team Sonic had thought it was disused. Tails' fear was that Robotnik or someone may be in possession of one of those mystical gems. Tails estimated that even a second exposure to one of the Chaos Emeralds would provide enough energy to light up a Starlight Zone for 7 years, completely redundantly given the night sky locale was illuminated by stars, or power my phone charger for 10 minutes before the piece of shit cable stopped pissing working again. Sonic sat bolt upright, and, in light of the serious nature of the news, did his best to mask his excitement. This could have just been the break he was after. Finally, an adventure! And a chance to kick Robotnik's suspiciously white teeth for a man in his 50s down to his stupid fucking neck. Jesus Christ. God, he loved hitting Robotnik. Almost much as he loved chili dogs. And Sonic loved chili dogs, let me tell you. One year, I love how the narration just goes like, 1 year, they're completely unrelated stories, by the way. It's always so funny to me.
I checked this back after I finished the first draft and I was like, oh, I've gone a little bit Family Guy. Here is what I've done.
No, I love it. It's so funny. I did exactly the fucking same thing, just talking about fucking Mastermind. I love when the narration's just like, by the way, this is a funny joke. 1 year for Valentine's Day, he'd not been paying attention when all the cool girls asked him who he fancied, and he said, chili dogs, which caused 3 of the girls to fall into a coma from grief. What?
I mean...
Fucking hell.
I mean, wouldn't you be upset if you thought you were in with a shot and you lost out to a processed
Fall
meat
into a
product?
coma from grief. Christ alive. Sonic didn't apologise, mind you, because he decided, on reflection, he really did fancy chili dogs, for fuck's sake. So let me see if I got this straight, Sonic said, a grin forming on his face. You think we should just bust into Eggman's secret space base, smash a few badniks, steal back the Chaos Emeralds, and be home in time for delicious, sexy chili dogs? Fucking hell. Tails and me frowned. No, I think we should call the police. Let them handle it, Sonic. For goodness sake, have some responsibility, would you? The two friends stared at one another, and they burst into a roar of laughter. Good one, pal! Sonic wiped away a tear caused by laughing so hard. Tails chuckled. Of course! We both know the police are useless, and we do their job for free, because we're actually passionate about upholding the law and not taking some massive kickbacks funded by the taxpayer. He's 8!
Yeah, well, I mean, he's been reading some literature on the matter.
Oh, I love the juxtaposition of, we've established he can't do this, he's 8, and then he goes into this big fucking spiel about the police. It would certainly be a shame if we weren't real and people actually had to rely on the police. Ha! Imagine that! They'd probably be really corrupt and the public would lose faith in them. Couldn't be me! The two friends somehow looked at the reader, cynical eyebrows raised. Fucking Christ. Oh. Tails tapped a few keys on one of his many Epic Gamer keys. Fuck you! I don't know why that keeps getting me. Oh. Tails tapped a few keys on one of his many Epic Gamer keyboards. It's the cool rainbow lights. I have one of those. They give you retina burn over a prolonged period of time, end up in a schematic robotics egg fortress. That explains my new glasses.
I was going to say.
That and copious wanking over chili dogs, apparently. They are
well, yes. I
They
mean,
are
here
sexy.
it makes you go blind.
It's the phallic shape of a chili dog, surely.
It must be. They remind me of Vector's knob.
That's canon now.
It is.
According to my calculations, the fox explained, the base's fortifications have been ramped up recently. That plus local bank... I read that as local bank, and it isn't that at all.
The local bank. I mean, that's another sector of industry that Tails would have a problem with.
That plus local banning activity suggests it's going to take 5 of us to break in. Even Sonic wasn't so bad at maths, he couldn't work this one out. I guess that accounts for 2 of us, plus Amy and Knuckles. But who else? Tails tapped his pen on his desk as if in thought. Yes! Who else is going to join the illustrious Team Sonic? Are you still mad we called it Team Sonic? We took a vote, Tails. Yes, we did! And as the rest of us arrived to place our votes, the ballot box viciously blew away that blue cyclone. And to return it roughly the same time you did 1 second after the polls closed. This is why I'm fucking hell. This is why I'm a proponent of voting early. It's your civic duty to be responsible and do your part. Or you might end up with a candidate you really don't like in charge of something important. But I guess there's nothing you can do but complain on Twitter or just vote again in another 4 years. Fucking hell.
That's topical, that is.
It is topical. Please vote, everyone. And not for Trump. Also, if you're a Trump supporter listening, stop listening. I don't care. Fuck you.
All right, well, there you go. That's the line drawn, folks.
Tails frowned and decided to move on. On his computer, he ran a quick algorithm and attempted to send the outputted file to Sonic over Discord. Fucking Christ. A notification popped up that his file was too heckin' chunky for Discord, the most popular chat application on the planet, with a file size limit of 10 megabytes, which would have been pathetic in 1995. But he wasn't paying for Nitro because he was a fucking rube. Tails sent the file to Dropbox instead. I'm sending you a list of all the best potential candidates for this mission, Tails explained. As self-appointed team leader, we couldn't be bothered to argue at the time. The final choice should be yours. Sonic eyed the names on the screen. Oh, he's good. Yeah, she's really cool. Oh, they'd be a good pick. Alright, Tails. Leave it to me!
Wait!
Leave it to me to track down one of these guys. You think you can hand rounding up Amy and Tails? Nope, you're Tails. I'll do that again. That stays in. You think you can round up Amy and Knuckles? Well, it's a Thursday, and Amy usually gets out of her Bible studies and hateful screenwriting class around 5. Knuckles shouldn't be too tough to find. Spends all of his free time sat in the same place. Sonic's face got a little more serious. Tails, and you don't suppose I mean, do you think Robotnik might be back? It's too early to tell yet. Ever the scientist, thought Sonic. Without empirical evidence, Tails just doesn't want to address the obvious elephant in the room, and that mustachioed egg botherer won't just get in the bloody ground. Fucking hell. Tails continued. It's certainly true we haven't heard from him in some time, and quiet isn't usually his style. What if I'm seeing here on these readouts is correct? We can't afford to take any chances. What if he, or whoever, used the Chaos Emerald to power Robotnik again? Like a Silver Sonic? Well, Sonic attempted humility for once in his life. Silver Sonic wasn't so hard once you memorized his attack pattern. Finally stay out of the way of the extended claw thingy. I seem to recall we grabbed by the nuts and twisted. You weren't there! You wouldn't know! Shut up! Replied Sonic, not all defensively, wincing slightly. Sensing he caught his friend a degree of distress, Tails wrapped up the conversation that the two of them could get to work. He looked at his watch. 9:03 a.m. That gave him plenty of time to work on the go-kart before he headed to the White Flower Zone to pick up Amy. Is the White Flower Zone real?
No, it just rhymes with white power.
Fucking hell!
I think Amy would like to live there.
Good. Excellent. Glad I asked. Tails got out of his chair and crossed over to a cupboard, retrieving from it a stuffed doll of Knuckles. He would use his clever decoy of putting it in the Master Emerald so Robotnik's badniks would never know the real Knuckles had left to join the adventure. Somehow it worked every time. It even worked on Fang once when he attempted to steal the Master Emerald by dressing like a sexy lady again to distract Knuckles and hitting with a frying pan. Did that happen?
It did now.
Great. The thing is with Sonic is you can never tell.
No, it's a stupid series. Any of these things could have happened.
Tails necked his coffee and set to work. He turned on the radio for background noise and picked up his toolbox. Suddenly, there was a knock at the workshop's main door. Odd. Tails didn't get many unexpected visitors due to being the least popular character in Team Sonic. Oh, it's true, but
It's true, but he shouldn't say it.
But certainly not this time in the morning. Tails walked over to the door and opened it a crack. Hello? End of chapter 2. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
I thought I'd leave that nice and open-ended, so you've got a few
Yes.
options on the table now. Do you go back to Sonic? Do you stay with Tails? Who's behind the door? Do you join another character? Oh, Eddie, the possibilities are limited only by your imagination.
There's a few nice places I could go, which is really fun. I feel like logically, I want to go one way.
Mm.
Just in how the second chapter started, logically, it makes sense to be like a third character and their opening. But also, there's intrigue here that I might want to dive into now. We might want to follow Sonic and how he finds a third character, because it's not as open as Tails' was to be like, I'm calling you, and then we get that. So there's nice paths to go down.
It's a choose-your-own adventure.
It really is. LT, this was fucked.
Well, I love it.
In a great way.
You were kind of on the money. We did have, Tails rings up and, tells Sonic to get the band back together. That was your prediction, so...
Yes, it's kind of there. In a very different way than I expected. But just for the context mostly, I did not expecting it to be, they're all a bit incel-y, sat alone, fucking playing video games and like, crying and being miserable. Like, wonderfully done.
I mean, your teenage years are among the roughest of your life, and Sonic
for sure
would know that better than anyone as someone who has never finished Earthbound.
No,
he just wanted to get to Foreside where the good music is, but he couldn't do it, man. He couldn't do it.
It's just, I'm sure it's difficult, Sonic, so that's fine. We've got also, I really like that we have lots of characters dropped in chapter 2, but not expanded upon. It's just like, this bit. So we have, like, more characters named with some extra, like, and here's a thread for them to have, maybe, which is very nice.
Well, I thought, we'll make the world feel a bit lived in, make it feel populated.
Yes.
So even if we don't return to all of these characters anytime soon, they are there. They're about.
Yes, which is it's just nice to have that. I think.
Yeah.
This was funny as fuck as well.
Oh, thank you very much.
Really funny.
I'm glad. I'm glad you felt that way.
Yes, it's a nice mix of like past adventures that happened and bullshit we've made up, which is fun.
Absolutely. And Fang cross-dressing as a sexy lady echidna to hit Knuckles with a frying pan like a Looney Tunes man.
Yes, I did not see Sonic being attracted to chili dogs.
I mean,
Yeah,
I
thing.
suppose when you think about them all day, every day, eventually those brain liquids are going to be fire indifferent, you know?
I'm happy it's happened because it's very funny, and that's going to lead to some very horrible, stupid places. Excellent stuff. So, I'm not gonna ask you who yet, but I'm guessing you have an idea of who you think is behind it all.
I have an idea.
Yeah.
I will be honest that I've left certain parts of this completely to your imagination, I think.
Mhm.
So it's going to depend how you go about attempting the third chapter that's going to determine which way it all pans out. But maybe have a few little ideas bubbling around in the brain, which may come to absolutely no fruition whatsoever. Who knows?
What's really nice is now we have like what I think by just logically again will be quite a nice mystery of who's the fifth person going to be for Team Sonic.
Well,
That's
that was a thought, because obviously we got to introduce Amy and Knuckles at some point. We know that.
Yes, and also we can't just do the fifth person next chapter. That would be shit.
Of course, that'd be garbage.
Yeah, that'd be rubbish.
Gotta
So
build it up.
that is going to be a nice mystery of we can have some character discussion and stuff. So that could be fun.
This is it.
Maybe that will be our first audience vote.
Oh, that could be good. 'Cause yes,
Possibly.
we would like you, listeners, to have a little bit of a say in the direction of this show. We are going to, not every chapter necessarily,
No.
but we're gonna put things out there and let you pick which way we go in some elements and aspects. So
Yeah.
it'll be a little bit of reader interaction.
That may be a fun thing we do where we just, okay, we're coming up to reveal who the fifth character is going to be. Give us a name. We put all the names in a hat, including a name that's writer's choice,
Sure.
and then pick it out and go, right, it's this, that's who it is. Fine. That could be really fun. So, how exciting!
Yes, and you will note as well, I did not confirm or deny the whereabouts of Dr. Robotnik himself. It's a mystery.
No, I enjoyed that a lot. It's good.
So-
Everything still feels up in the air, and we are going on what we assume because of logic, but it doesn't mean it's true. I say logic. Look at what we've fucking written.
Nothing about this was logical. Come on, man, you know that.
But it's really good. I really liked it. I'm very
Thank
happy.
you. I'm glad you did. I hope you did as well, listeners. Speaking of things that people like, where can our listeners hear more from you, Mr. O'Keefe? What would you like to plug and all that lovely business?
If you want to follow me on my personal socials, it's Eddie O Podcast on Instagram and Twitter. If you want to follow my comedy improv game that happens to also just be D&D, Budgeons and Dragons is on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, all the social medias at Budgeons and Dragons. It's a comedy D&D podcast. Very, very stupid. No D&D knowledge is required at all. It's a very simplified version of the game I made, mostly out of spite. It's a fun and long-running series. LT's a regular on the show as well.
And a good time it is.
We have had Sonic characters appear on the show frequently. We even had a whole episode dedicated to Sonic Heroes for some fucking reason. It's a very, very silly show. If you enjoy this nonsense, you'll definitely love Dungeons and Dragons. It's a very similar kind of ridiculous, stupid humour.
I think so, yes. I think it's one of those shows where you do not need to know D&D. You don't need to know any of the characters that anyone's playing. A lot of them are original characters, so you're introduced to them as we play them.
I was literally talking to someone at the Roll the Damn Dice community day today about Roll the Damn Dice and Budgeons, and I was saying it's interesting how your show, Roll the Damn Dice, you should also listen to it, it's very good, is a D&D podcast that happens to also be funny, and Budgeons is a comedy podcast that happens to be D&D as well.
It's the two ends of the spectrum.
Yes,
really.
like they call themselves a D&D comedy podcast, and we are a comedy D&D podcast. It's very slight distinction, but it means a big difference.
It's I think it probably comes down to exactly how much D&D is in the show, whereas given Budgeons came about because you hate D&D, not as much, I'd imagine.
It's mostly just roll a number, can I beat your number, I win. Good. Let's carry on.
Very much in the style of the Sonic Adventure game books.
Yes.
Can you roll a 6 to beat Sonic's coolness? No, you can't, because he's the coolest. Fuck you.
Well, there we go. LT, where can people find you?
They can find me on Twitter and on Twitch. My username on both is LT Dangerous. Just recently on Twitch, I streamed 31 days in a row of Sonic the Hedgehog video games. More to come there, of course. And while I'm here, I'm also going to plug my Sonic website, which is the Kintabor Computer, which you can find at the easy-to-remember kintabor.computer. That's Robotnik spelled backwards. That's a repository of all things Sonic. It's still within its first couple of months yet, so we are building it up, I guess, is how we're looking at it in the early going. But we have a list of every single adventure that Sonic has appeared in, all the comics, all the cartoons, all the manga, the video games. And over time, we're going to add in reviews for each of those. We're going to add in character profiles for everyone who appears in the series. We're going to add in locations for all the zones. So when an obscure character appears on this show, you'll be able to look them up. And you'll have all the info you need at your fingertips.
I've just had a brainwave.
Oh, no.
Could we upload the fanfic on the Kintabor Computer?
I think we could.
Do a nice crossover.
I think we could. That might be a handy place to do it. So if you want to read the actual physical text, or digital text rather, you'll be able to do so on the Kintabor Computer website.
There we go. And if you want to follow Sonic the Hedgehog, the fanfic, the podcast on our social media, it will be at Sonic THTFTP. That's at Sonic THTFTP, or Sonic for short.
Which is what I think to anyone who refuses to accept the validity of our fanfic. I think
Exactly. Also, please just tell your friends about the podcast, give us a 5-star review, subscribe to us on the podcast app. I know it's boring and cliche to say, but it genuinely does help a lot, and it makes us feel like we're doing a good job.
Yes, get that visibility up for us.
Please. Well, I'm going to write the 3rd chapter pretty much immediately, because this is how my brain works.
And I'm going to eagerly await the 3rd chapter, and we're probably going to record the next episode very soon if this has been anything to go by. Literally 1 day has passed, not even a full day. We are full
No,
on.
we recorded the first episode last night, about 11, maybe 10 o'clock, 10 p.m. It's currently 4:24 p.m, and we finished recording episode 2. We can't stop ourselves. This has taken over our lives.
Can't help ourselves. This is the new hyper-focus obsession.
Wait till the ADHD burnout kicks us in chapter 3 or something stupid.
We get to them like, God, I hate Sonic.
Yeah, that'll never happen.
Never.
Well, thank you, RT. Thank you, listeners.
Eddie.
And stay Sonic.
Stay
I think it was what we said.
Sonic,
I think that's what we came up with.
Always remember to
Fucking
stay
bullshit.
Sonic. Bye.
Bye-bye.